Found him, Marcus said. Or rather, I found where he used to be. We met at a coffee shop downtown. Marcus slid a folder across the table, thicker than I expected. Richard Vance, he said, keeping his voice low. After he was dismissed from your school district, he moved to Ohio. Worked at a private academy for 3 years before there were complaints, similar pattern. He left before any formal investigation. Moved to Pennsylvania, taught there for 2 years. Same thing, complaints, left before anything went on record. My hands were shaking as I opened the folder. There were addresses, employment records, copies of complaints that had been filed and then mysteriously withdrawn. He knew how to work the system, Marcus continued. Always left before charges could be filed. Always got settlements with NDAs attached. School districts don't want the publicity. Parents don't want to traumatize their kids with trials. He exploited that. He did it for years. Where is he now? My voice barely worked. Marcus's expression changed, became more careful. That's the thing. His last known address was in Vermont. He was teaching at a small private school there. But according to my contacts, he went missing 2 years ago. The coffee shop noise seemed to fade away. Missing? Filed as a missing person by the school when he didn't show up for work and couldn't be reached. His apartment was cleared out, car was gone, bank accounts were emptied. The police investigated but found no evidence of foul play. They assumed he'd run, maybe knew someone was finally going to press charges that would stick. So he just vanished. That's what it looks like, Marcus said. He watched me carefully. You seem disappointed. I was. I'd imagined confronting him, making him face what he'd done, maybe even... But those thoughts were dark and frightening, and I pushed them away. I wanted answers, I said finally. Sometimes disappearing is an answer. Marcus closed the folder. Guy like that, hurting kids for decades, never facing consequences. Someone might have decided to give him consequences themselves. The implication hung in the air between us. I need copies of everything, I said. Marcus slid the entire folder toward me. It's yours, but let me give you some advice. Be careful what you do with this. Missing persons cases stay open. You start asking questions about Richard Vance. Someone might start asking questions about you. I took the folder home and spent the next week obsessing over every detail. I created a timeline of his movements, his jobs, the complaints against him. I found a pattern in how he operated. Small schools, communities that wanted to avoid scandal, parents who could be pressured into silence with money and legal threats. He'd hurt dozens of children over 20 years, maybe more that were never reported. Rachel barely recognized me anymore. I stopped sleeping, stopped eating regular meals. I sat at my laptop for hours, searching for any trace of him, any clue about where he might have gone. They're falling apart, she said one night, standing in the doorway of our bedroom while I sat at my computer at 3 a.m. This is consuming you. He's out there somewhere, I said, not looking away from the screen. He's still out there and no one cares. Or he's dead, Rachel said quietly. Or he left the country. Or he's living under a new name somewhere you'll never find him. You have to let this go. You have to move on. How? I turned to face her, and I saw her flinch at whatever she saw in my face. How do I move on, knowing he never faced justice for what he did? Knowing he did it to other kids and got away with it every time?